There's a part of me, that I know that is always loving. My inner being always loves me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I
know it.
I know it because I'm being in a being.
Yeah.
Versus being a history, memory-based, egoic energy structure called me and experiences physical reality.
Yeah.
And when I am efforting, I'm struggling because I'm operating
against myself,
against my inner being's knowing that I am worthy. I'm against myself, and
nothing makes you matter.
And these beliefs, some of them are very deeply entrenched. I've been working on a lot of...
Doesn't matter how long you've had them. If they suck, they suck. Doesn't matter how long you've had them. And any moment you spend trying to defend them or justify them or explain them, you just maintain them longer. But couldn't it just be clean? Yeah, I picked up stuff from my place of not knowing. Aren't you allowed to change your mind? You see this car, you think you really want it because it's really, really beautiful, and you buy it. You're in the service bay all the time with it. So now you don't feel the same way about it. And so you say, I don't really have the same relationship with this car that I did before I drove it around. And your friend might say, oh, but you love that car so much, you should always love that car. And you say, oh, wow. Yeah, I should always love that car. Why am I giving up on? Because life has showed you some other things. It's made you smarter. It's given you an opportunity to make some new decisions about something. But the subject of belief says, oh no, I thought this was a good car and I must always think that this is a good car. And yeah, I was towed 5 times this week, but this is a good car. 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 I will not give up on this car. This is a good 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 car. No, not really. It's really not a good match to you now. It was there when you needed it. It was there when you attracted it. It might have been the step to your understanding about some things, but it's perfectly all right for you. That's what evolution is. Evolution is having life experiences and continuing to advocate for yourself. And that's what your inner being is always showing you, how to advocate for yourself, how to advocate for the good of who you are, which means when you're self-advocating, you're advocating for the whole. But there are others out there, like the person who sold the car to you, who doesn't ever want you to give up on that car. There are people with their reasons that it benefits them for you to hold to the beliefs that serve them but that don't serve you. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when your inner being's saying to you all day, you are magnificent, and someone else is saying to you, you are a wretched being? Well, who are you going to believe? And who you're going to believe is who you've practiced believing the most. That's who you're going to believe, you see. Your inner being cannot speak often enough or loud enough, we're loud, to control what you hear. Because what you hear is what you've practiced hearing. So it takes a while for you to find and live happily ever after. Yep. That's it. So what's the point, Abraham, of all the contrast? Because you all get to choose from the contrast what you prefer. And how are you going to know what you prefer if you don't allow yourself to live some life? So the contrast is good. Where it goes wonky for you is that as you explore the contrast, you perceive yourself as wrong when you change your mind. So we have some questions for you. Is your expansion and evolution a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a great thing.
Is your inner being always calling you toward more?
Yes.
Where did your inner being get the idea of the more that it is calling you toward?
From the contrast that I'm experiencing.
From you. You said you lived it, and you launched a rocket that you don't even know you launched, and your inner being received your request. But because you're so sure that you have to prove worthiness, you don't even know you launched a rocket, but your inner being does. That's that push-pull that's going on. You can't get this wrong. You can't get this wrong because your life is causing you to expand. You just got to give up the struggle and let yourself receive the expansion that your life has caused you to ask for. Is that helpful? So you want to go further?
One question. I feel like I treat my identity, which is the old car, something that I cannot, change into a new identity, a new car. And
That you cannot?
That is the old belief.
Yeah.
And I thank you for clarifying that
we really want to hear you out. We're not trying to guide you now. We really want to hear what you're saying. We really want to hear about that old identity. Talk to us about that.
That old identity is afraid of not being there anymore.
Of what? Oh, of no longer existing?
Yes. And I know I'm stepping into a new identity. I can visualize it. I can feel it. I can feel the light, the joy, the abundance, the bliss. And I do that and I'm shifting into that. And there's the part that
Imagine that you are a parent and you have a little girl. She's really little, so cute. She's running around the airport. And you know from your experience that a lot's going to change for her. So you decide that she might as well know now. So you call her over and you say, I've been meaning to tell you, you're not always going to live in our house with us. Someone you don't know is going to come and have another house and take you over there. Your body's going to change a lot. You're going to stretch into something really different from now. Now, she might get some of that just from what she's observed in life. Depends on how old she is now and how much she's contemplating. But she's not ready for everything that's coming, and neither is anyone else. Your now point of attraction is only allowing what your now point of attraction will allow. But your now experience caused you to tell the larger part of you some things you want moving forward. And the larger part of you got all excited and started wagging its tail, all excited about where you're going, and is calling you to it, and sometimes you're not ready to go. Well, do you know what the remedies to that are? Because it's uncomfortable for your inner being to call you and you not be ready. So what are the options? Cling to the old in unreadiness? That feels awful. Or trust? Well, that takes some doing, doesn't it? Because if you've practiced only trusting in what you see, then the universe can't offer you anything beyond it. But if you could step back to a little broader view, and you could start with the premises that you believe, we know you do. I have an inner being. Ooh, I felt it. I was on drugs, but I felt my inner being. I know that source exists. I believe in these laws of the universe. If you can step back to the things that you do, I know that I'm expanding. I know that things are getting better. Then little by little, life experience will help you demonstrate to yourself that the last thing you want to do is cling to being that child, so to speak. Really, you know what you want? You want to move forward as fast as life causes you to launch the rockets. That's what your inner being does. Your life causes you to launch a rocket, and your inner being goes there and says, this is way good. Come on over. And you say, I can't. I still believe in the things I believed in when I was launching the rocket. Do you know that the problem and the solution exist simultaneously, and that the solution, which is the motion forward, could not exist without the problem? And do you know what you just said to us? I have created a solution from my problem, but I believe more in my problem than I do the solution. We say, why is that? Because you created a solution from the problem, and your inner being went to where the solution is, and that's where you want to go. You want to let go of that belief about the problem and go toward the solution. There isn't anything complicated about any of this that your own life experiences won't demonstrate for you in a way that you can absolutely get it. And we are so impressed with your ability to articulate what your beliefs are. And we are also impressed with our ability to express in a way that Esther can articulate what your true beliefs are, so that you can feel the contradiction between what you believe and what you believe. And that's what negative emotion is. That's what struggle is. That's what the feeling of efforting is. When you feel struggle, you can always know you are working against your greater self. You don't have to say, let me think about it. You don't need to analyze all of the situations of all of the world. You don't have to go back and traipse through all of the experiences that you and others have had. All you have to know is right here, right now, I've come to more than I'm letting myself experience, and that's never going to feel good. In what way can I let myself experience the more? And you know what the answer is every time? Chill out. You know what the answer is every time? Stop efforting. Let it go. Trust the process. Know who I really am. And you know who you really are. Oh, we want you to see yourself as your inner being sees you. Who you really are is someone who deliberately chose to come into this body to have contrasting experiences in order to launch rockets. You said, I'm willing to be in a state of confusion sometimes because feeling good will win out. You said, I'm willing to move on from beliefs that served me to beliefs that serve me better. Not moving from wrong beliefs to right beliefs. I'm willing to move on from right beliefs to righter beliefs to righter beliefs to righter beliefs to righter beliefs. I'm willing to just keep moving on. And I trust that my inner being, my blessed inner being, who adores me so much, who asks for no validation from me, my inner being who doesn't ask for struggle, my inner being who doesn't ask for allegiance, my inner being doesn't even ask for alignment. My inner being just keeps going where I said I wanted to go and being where I said I wanted to be so that I can tell if I'm there or not right now. Ooh, what a friend that is. Someone who bees where I said I wanted to be even when I don't believe I can be there. Well, if you were a true friend, you'd come over here and be where I am. No, if you're a true friend, you stay over there where you mean to be. And then you take drugs and go there.
That was my first time.
We're not pushing against that. We know for sure it was an inspiration. It was a behavior that was beneficial in the process of getting you to where you really want to be. Did you hear us say it was wrong to do that? Did we say there was something better that you could do? Maybe now, but not then. That was the path of least resistance. Therefore, it's always the right path. You don't need to push against anything that you've ever done. It was the path of least resistance. You've always been doing your best. You've always been doing your best. You are doing your best. You're doing your best. You're doing the best that you can do. Stop measuring yourself against anybody else. You're doing the best that you can do. And you know how we know that? Because your inner being knows that. This is what your inner being is saying to you. We know you're doing your best. We've never asked you to do our best. It's your desire to be with us because we're always with you. You don't have to change for us to love you, but you do have to change to feel the love that we feel for you. Did you get that? It was subtle. It's good, isn't it? We've enjoyed this immensely. This is a really good time for a segment of it.
Thank you.